Good morning, welcome back to Astrology from a Libra's perspective, brought to you by the Social Forecast. Today is Friday, May 8th, and this is the daily horoscope reading for all my Taurus out there. Your words could have more power than usual today, so take some time to think before you speak. It's one thing to get caught up in an enthusiastic conversation and say something silly, but it's quite another to say something you'll later regret. As you might recall from past slips of the tongue, the taste of shoe leather is not an easy one to get out of your mouth. Play it safe, and if you can't say something nice, say nothing at all. Now, in the interest of not being hypocritical, I will break down this horoscope for my Taurus today, but I will say that I don't live my life this way. Typically, I say what I feel. I'm not apologetic for it, and the reason for that is whatever I say in whatever moment I say it, it came from a place. Regardless of how it comes out or what the delivery looks like, regardless of if a person agrees with it or not, when a person like me, or I think most Libras, if not all, by the time you get us to the point where we say anything, whatever we are saying at that point is real and it's true. I'm never responsible for how someone takes something that I say. I'm only responsible for what I say. And if what I say is truth and what I say is from a real place and not just being said as a petty get back or as a way to make someone feel a certain way, which typically is the assumption or the misconception. But a person like me, if I say something, it was meant to be said exactly how I said it, whether I was upset when I said it or not. Drunk mind speaks sober thoughts, and there's really no way to come back after you've said something and try and make it seem like or make a person think that you didn't mean it quite that way, because if you didn't, you wouldn't have said it. So a person like me, I'm unapologetic when it comes to those kinds of things, but that's just me. But for my Taurus out there, what this horoscope is basically saying to you, which I don't fully agree with, but I will break it down. It's basically saying, in your dealings with whoever today, understand that the things that you say and how you choose to say them could have an impact on a person. So consider what it is you're going to say before you say it. But what I think between the lines here is you never have to really alter what you may want to say to a person. You just may sometimes need to choose your approach. Again, I don't agree with that. It's not how I live my life, but it is what it is. And I think the contradiction though here with today's horoscope is that it's okay to slip and say something that is silly, but when you're saying something that might offend someone, that there's a possibility there that you might later regret it. What I will say along the lines of this daily horoscope from my Taurus for today is, if you think you'll possibly regret something later, then yes, don't say it or think twice about how you deliver it. I never regret anything I say to anyone, because if I said it, it needed to be said, and I don't really care how you took it. But if you are the kind of person, and for all my Taurus out there, if this fits within your personality to regret things later because you just shoot off the hip and you are not saying something because it's real and needs to be said, you're just saying it just to say it, or because you're in a moment or you feel an emotion and so you're letting that lead you, then I would agree, don't say it if you know you're going to regret it. I don't need to apologize for anything that I say, because if I said it for a reason. So I'm a person who is not quick to apologize when it comes to something I say, because contrary to what most people would think who have dealt with me, if I've said something to offend someone, they may think that it's just said to upset them, or just said in that moment because it's an argument or what have you. No. If I said what I said it for a reason, and I would have said it whether or not that situation was that situation. But if you're not that person, and you do typically regret things after you've said them, then take a second today to think twice about something before you say it. So that's basically what I would impart to my Taurus out there. Only follow this advice from this daily horoscope. Again, if you are a person knowing yourself based on your history, If you know that you have gone back and apologized often for things, you have a pattern of saying things and then thinking about it to yourself like, damn, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I should have changed the way I said it. Whether or not you ever acknowledge that to the person. And if you're like most Taurus I know, very prideful, don't typically like to have to apologize, then yes, follow this. Think twice before you say it, because if you're not a person who likes to humble yourself and apologize for something, even if it's not something that you did wrong, just something that somebody thinks you did or said that they took wrong, if you're not the kind of person that likes to double back and have to apologize for that, then yes, think twice before you say it. To all my Taurus out there, I wish you luck today. I will be back Monday for the next daily horoscope for all my Taurus. This is astrology from a Libra's perspective, brought to you by the Social Forecast. Peace and love.